Hi guys, Deanna here from the Botanical Farmer. I want to talk about David Austin roses and the range that's sort of hit Australia in the last few years, what I'm impressed with them about, what I don't like, what I do like. David Austin roses can perform really, really well here in South Australia given the right climate. I've grown roses on this property in the Adelaide Hills, and I've also grown David Austin varieties back on the farm, in the sand, in the drier climate. What I will say about them is they absolutely thrive here up in the hills. They perhaps didn't thrive as much down on the farm, and I found that I used to give the David Austins a little bit of shade in the afternoon because the environment was just too hot and too dry. So behind me at the moment is one of my favourites, and I was really excited when I got this property to try this particular rose. So this is Olivia Austin, named after David Austin's granddaughter, and you can see I'm about to prune her back for winter and how tall she's actually got. So I'd say she's just under 6 foot here, or 1.8 metres high, and she is a beautiful upright rose. I've actually got a hedge of her, and we're going to extend the hedge further on this year. Just now that we've finished doing all the renovations around the house, I'll be able to get in and complete this front garden bed. So Olivia has just performed really, really well. She's got a beautiful pink flower. It's a very traditional flower, a nice scent. And of the David Austin range, I think she is one of the better performers. David Austins can quite often be quite archy, but you can see this one here has got such a solid cane on her. Unfortunately, I haven't got very many out in flower at the moment, and I will turn the camera around. We are about to prune, and that will take place in the next week or so, and everything will come down. I'll get her back to a hedge height, and that'll be great. But my plan initially here for this garden was I would have Olivia sitting at about this height, and I would have the poet's wife behind Olivia on standard roses. And after the first year, I have moved the standard roses elsewhere. This is quite windy through here. The wind's gully through here. The standards weren't coping because they were bending over, and they were just getting way too big for this particular area. And in fact, I really don't like the roses this big here at the moment. I prefer them a lot lower down. So Olivia has performed extremely well here, has grown a lot bigger than what I ever thought she would, but I cannot praise her enough. She is a beautiful rose, and I will cut across to what they do look like in September when they're out in full flower. But this is the worst you'll see her, and it is a beautiful rose. You can see on this back rose, or even here, she's very healthy. There's generally very little black spot on these roses, and that's a good thing. I'm up in the hills climate. We have a really high humidity for maybe 3 or 4 months a year, and black spot is definitely something that we struggle with. So if I just turn the camera around, and I'll take you for a little bit further walk and what roses I do love. So here we are, and this would be the last Olivia rose I would expect to see. You can see she's a pale pink. It's a typical Austin style flower on it, and yeah, you can see these bushes up a little bit closer. I will bring it in. I am absolutely quite amazed by them. You can see just how healthy they are. And what I'm absolutely amazed at is I'm still getting rosebuds this time of the year. Behind here, I did replace these poet's wife with the bushes rather than the standards, and you can see they're just a little bit more prone to black spot. So that's been a little bit of a disappointment with the poet's wife. I won't be removing this bush, but I do love the flower on this particular rose, and I'm happy to put up with a little bit of black spot. You can see they've finished flowering for the year and waiting to be pruned down. If you walk through to my backyard with me, on the right here is another David Austin. It's James L. Austin, and it is a favourite of mine. And once again, you can see how healthy this rose is. This rose has a few more thorns. They're not particularly bad in terms of rose bushes, but Olivia hasn't got as many thorns as this particular rose. And if I spin right around now, this would have to be my favourite, and it's Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl is nearly completely thornless. It is still putting on a show this time of the year. You can see it is absolutely stunning. But what I love about this rose is the health of it. There is no black spot. We're in the middle of winter. We have had substantial rains this year, and Roald Dahl is still putting up these gorgeous buds. And they start off with a reddish tinge and they go out. There's another one at a different stage. And they go out to these gorgeous orange, yeah, I'd say it's orange flowers. So if you walk through here with me, you can see all of these are Roald Dahl, and just look how healthy these beautiful bushes are. This one's starting to get a little bit of black spot, but I'd expect to be full of black spot this time of the year. We're the middle of June and it's just not the best. Another gorgeous bud about to burst. There's one a little bit further on. And I just want to bring you over. Here's another David Austin that's been a real standout, and that's the last flower for the year up there on it. And I'll pull that down so you can have a look. It's Vanessa Bell, and she is just beautiful when she's out in full flower. And again, another newer David Austin variety, and again, very, very, very healthy and very few thorns. So these Roald Dahl and Vanessa Bell have definitely become firm favourites of mine. This time of the year there's not really all that much happening, and like I said, they're really just waiting. There's another Vanessa Bell bush, and the health of this plant is just quite surprising. And for roses, we all struggle with black spot, aphids, insects, and to be able to pick roses that are just naturally a little bit more stronger or more adapted to the Australian climate is fantastic. This is my back perennial garden, and it is looking quite woeful at the moment. It is all waiting for the gardener to give it a good trim back. I've got multiple David Austins and different varieties throughout the garden. So that's just a quick update where I'm at. These are a few of my favourite roses. The pink one at the back is definitely not a David Austin, and we'll go into Tallulah a bit later. But if you're out in the nurseries looking at bare root roses, I personally don't think you can go past Roald Dahl, Vanessa Bell or Olivia. And I'd even put the Poet's Wife on that. Might just dive down to the back and see if I've got any of the Poet's Wife left on my standards. Okay, I'm back, and I did find the Poet's Wife down here. These were the standards that I transplanted from out the back. They are in urgent need of some love, care, pruning, but I just wanted to show you the Poet's Wife, and she's actually doing quite a good job down here. She's quite neglected. But she's a beautiful, beautiful rose. Like I said, and you can't really see it on this bush too much. There is a little bit there. I find she's got a little bit of black spot. But if you're willing to overlook the black spot, this is definitely a stunning yellow David Austin rose, and well worth a look and a try in your garden. I'd love everyone to let me know what their favourite roses are, and jump online and what your success has been like with David Austins and climate with it. There is one exception if you're going to try and grow a David Austin rose in that drier climate, and I found the Endeavour was a beautiful rose that did do well back in those hotter, sandier environments. So depends where your garden is and what you're looking for out of a rose with that. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.